Hi, Sunshine here. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining. Today I'm going to show you how to do yarn dreads. This is something that I started doing probably about a year ago. I had researched dreadlocks and pet dreads and just different methods on YouTube, and what I came up with was finding genie locks and yarn dreads, pretty much same thing from what I can tell. So kind of looked at different tutorials and made my own version of it. So I have people at work like, oh, how'd you get your hair to do like that? So thought I would make a video. Alright, so basically I start by sectioning mine out. I do use the pet dread style, which is underneath. You know, you can wear your hair up and they show, or you can wear it down and you can still tell that they're there, but they're not as obvious. I find that in my line of work this just works better. If I were to go in with my whole head yarn dreaded, it would not be probably the best interest, because like I said, I do have a more conservative job. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and section my hair. So I'm gonna just show you what it looks like in the back. If I can get my mirror angled, let's turn around this way. Alright, so yeah, there we go. I've got the back section. If you can tell right here is, well, let's turn this around. Okay, yeah, there we go. The back section, I've got it pulled up. When my husband was alive, he used to shave this for me whenever it was summertime, and I would just keep it kind of buzzed, and then this part of my hair would be long. That worked whenever someone was able to help me with that, but when he passed, I decided that, you know, I was going to grow my hair back out. And now that it's winter, I usually do these yarn dreads start around a little bit before Halloween and wear them through until March. Now those are different sets. I like to alternate. Usually I'll put them in and leave them for anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. And I like to kind of vary it up depending on the season. Like this year for Halloween I did I was a sea witch, and so I did like the green and the blue. I like to do the red and green for Christmas time. And see, I know I'm moving this camera, I'm sorry. Anyway, I do like Valentine's Day would be pink and red and white. And then St. Patrick's Day last year I did green with like a rainbow on one side, which those weren't technically pet dreads. Like underneath, they were more to the side. But anyway, you can do them however you want. This is just to show you how, give you some ideas. Alright, so got my hair section like I showed you. I'm going to pause this and I will show you the yarn sections. Alright, and we're back, and I've got the sections to go in the braids now. So I'm just going to show you, pardon my mess, this is the sections of yarn that I've got. Alright, so I just did enough that I've got 3 strands. Whenever you fold them in half, it would be about the same length, maybe just a little bit longer than my hair that it will be going in. So if you can see, I know the lighting, I've got to figure this out, but got to have a little bit longer of the yarn, and that's just to give you something to work with whenever you get down to the end. I like to kind of do extensions with mine, make it a little bit longer than my hair actually is. Okay, so got the sections. I went ahead and did 10 sections. I'm going to have 10 dreads, yarn dreads in the hair. Alright, and the yarn that I'm using is, I've got 2 different kinds just to kind of vary up on the texture. This is the I Love This yarn, and that is the name of the brand. It was $3.99, and I think I got this at Walmart or Hobby Lobby. I also have a Michaels around here, so got some choices, but pretty much, you know, just a basic acrylic yarn. And then I've got one of the more fluffy variations. This is Fireside brand. And again, this is acrylic, but it's 97% acrylic and 3% polyester. So I've got the yarn sections, and next I'm going to show you how to insert these into your hair. Alright, so we are back in my bathroom, and this is the water, and that was my hand, by the way. Alright, so we've got the sections. I went ahead and grabbed the two different kinds. This section, I have it, okay, so it's about that long, and I'm going to fold it doubled in half, grab the middle part, and then I'm going to section my hair. So we'll pause and get... Okay, so I've got my hair in 4 sections. I lifted up the top of where I had sectioned off, and I'm just working on the lower end right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I've got the middle of this, I'm just going to kind of wrap it around and work it in as a braid. Now, the thing to keep in mind whenever you're sectioning your hair is you want to make sure that it's going to be comfortable. These, I can do about 3 in an hour, so it takes a while to do, and if I'm going to be spending that much time, I'm going to be wearing them a while. And if I'm going to be wearing them a while, I want them to be comfortable. So, I'm going to portion these out into about equal sections of hair, and I'm going to pause because I got to turn my back to you to get this going. Alright, so if you can see here, once I got the section wrapped around the hair, I am now going to take this, and I've got the 3 sections. Whenever you fold them in half, they make 6 strings of yarn coming down. So I divided those each into 2 sections, well, yeah, 3 sections of 2. Let's say it like that. Get my math right. Okay. So I'm going to match up the 3 sections of 2 with my hair that I've pulled apart into a braid form. And so I'm going to have each section has 1 strand of hair and 2 pieces of yarn. And then you just proceed to braid as normal. Now I try to get it as close to my scalp as I can, but they always tend to slip down. In the braiding part, just so long as you do your best to get it close to the scalp, it'll be alright. It's the wrapping part that you really have to get up close if you want it to not be showing a bunch of hair. This is a protective wrap, you know, it's keeping your hair out of the elements, which, you know, in the wintertime I'm not really out that much, not really getting in chlorine or anything like that. And anyway, this is just more for me for a style. You know, I spend about 3 hours doing my hair once every 3 weeks, and you know, I might curl it on top, you know, while I have the pet dreads in, but basically I can just throw it up into a ponytail or a bun or wear it down, and it looks like I've spent effort each day whenever really I'm doing all my effort in one process. This I'm probably going to break into 2 sections. I'm going to do one and show you how to wrap it so you get the idea, and then I'm probably going to do the rest in just braiding and go to bed because it's already pushing midnight, and my little boy and I are doing our Christmas tomorrow. It's not necessarily New Year's Eve, but tomorrow's the day before New Year's Eve. We
typically do our Christmas on New Year's, just because it's running from house to house on Christmas is crazy, and this gives us some downtime. So he and I are planning to do our Christmas at our house in the morning, and then go up to the cabin to see my companion and do our Christmas there, probably tomorrow or the night after, Saturday night. Anyway, this is another benefit to going ahead and doing this. This is why I'm going ahead and taking the time. You can see I got a little bit of hair there. I'm just going to take probably some oil, like coconut oil, and slick that down so that whenever I wrap it, it's not sticking out of the wrap. It's more even with the hair. Alright, so as you can see, this is a little bit longer than my actual hair, and I'm going to pause this here, get the oil, slick it down, and then show you how to wrap it.
Alright, so I've got the section that I have slicked down with the coconut oil. I'm going to zoom in on it here so that you can see how it's braided in, and it's still a little bit frizzy, but that's going to get wrapped over. Alright, so this section I'm doing an alternating. I've got my dark smoother blue yarn on the braid, and so I'm alternating it with the thicker light blue yarn to do the wrap. You can really do however style you want. I'm just doing it kind of alternating, like with the ones that I do. This is my base braid. I'm going to do the thinner, darker for the wrap, just to kind of change it up. So I'm going to show you how to wrap this. So I'm going to pause and set this back down.
Alright, so I've got my section. Once again, going to fold it in half so that your 3 strands of yarn form 6 strings now. Take the middle, I'm going to wrap it as close as possible to the scalp, and just going to twist it around a few times. Again, just to focus on keeping it tight. And then I'm going to kind of switch it up. I'm going to pull the strand around, and I've got my thumb, I'm kind of hooking it here and flipping it. And I'll continue doing that same motion with the thumb all around the hair. So you're not actually making a braid, you're wrapping the hair. And it should be, the way I do this, it's going to look kind of like you got a line. Like, it reminds me of macrame. Like if you've ever made those hemp necklaces, it kind of looks like that whenever you get done with it. And if you want, a lot of people on YouTube, they'll just wrap it in one direction instead of doing the flipping, alternating. I like this because it just seems more secure. I like things tight and locked into place. I've tried the wrapping, and it did give a smoother, like, cylinder look versus the line on the side, if you can see here. But I didn't like it because whenever my hand would slip, it's like you lose all of your footing. It completely unravels itself, which is helpful for whenever you are taking it out. And here is another thing to pay attention to also. Right here, getting hair stuck, you want to be careful not to get any stray hairs, just so that it doesn't damage your hair. As far as getting the strays caught in here, and it's going to pull and be uncomfortable. So you want to make sure that it's just the section that's braided that's getting wrapped. Alright, so I'm going to continue on with this, and then I will pause video and show you the finished product. Last one here, in case the video didn't really give a clear picture, so you can see from beginning to end. So I've got my starter section, the short strands of yarn. Once again, you've got the 3 pieces, and I'm just going to kind of pay attention to what I'm doing here. I fold them in the middle, and some of these are a little bit longer than the others. So what I'm going to do, I've got my section of hair, And I'm going to just kind of pull this down and around. Okay, and so I pulled the hair section down, and then I'm going to separate this into my three sections of 2 of the yarn, and trying not to get any stray hairs in this. Alright, hello. And going to section out the hair. A little bit more. There we go. Alright. And see, that slid down a little bit more than what I would like for it to. Typically I like it to be closer up to the scalp, but when I go to wrap it, it's really going to make up for it. That's where the main part of the look is in the wrap. This is just the base. So again, I'm just braiding this out and gonna go all the way to the end of the hair and continue on. Also, I always do this when my hair is clean, like usually right after it dries, after I've taken a shower. Sometimes whenever it's still a little bit wet, I find that it's helpful. My hair gets frizzy whenever it's dry, like especially when it dries on its own and I've not done anything to it. And so to wet it down kind of makes it more manageable so it's not all flyaway. So I'm getting to the end of this braid and it's starting to kind of fly away. Now on the ones that I'm going to be sleeping in, I did put just a little plastic band to hold it together until I can do the wrap, and as you can see I've got some flyaways here just starting to form, but whenever I wrap it, it's going to kind of smooth that down. Alright, so I've got my really long strands of yarn here. This kind of yarn, this thicker, almost like it's wrapped yarn, I don't know if you can see that, but it tends to come undone. Yeah, this is a good example. It gets all floofy and it makes it a little bit harder to work with. So I always try to give extra, because if you do just the bare minimum, you're going to run out. It's going to be all frayed and not want to cooperate. So this is kind of tangled up. I'm going to pause that. Alright, so I've got my yarn straightened out. If you get an idea of the length of the yarn as compared to my hair, it's about, whenever it's folded in half, I can stretch my arms about halfway. Anyway, that's, yeah, like that. Okay, so I'm going to put this right back here to holding between the knees and going to show you how I wrap this. Now, remember I got the braid a little bit lower than what I would like, so I'm going to get as close to the scalp as possible and continue to wrap. And as I'm wrapping, I'm pushing it up each time I twist to get it closer to the scalp. Up and just kind of pulling the braided section down to keep it from tangling. Sometimes these like to wrap all together. Get a close up here. You can see my ear and my earring. Alright, I'm pushing that up. I like to keep these pretty snug. Okay.
As you can see, I just continue to wrap it until it gets down to the actual section where the yarn is braided in with the hair. And then whenever that meets, just make sure that it's nice and tight and connected. And I continue to wrap over where the braid begins. And again, kind of straightening it out because it will tangle up down at the ends. Alright, so just continuing to wrap. And again, I only do this in the colder months. It does add some heat. I mean, it's kind of like having a little miniature scarf that you're wearing in your hair. Whenever I wear my hair up, obviously it's not got as much warmth, but whenever your hair's down, it does add volume and heat. I stay cold, so I don't mind the heat. I think that that's a benefit, but it's not something that I would want in the summer. You could do these in the summer, but it is going to make you more warm. And also, I like to get in the lakes and the rivers around here, and the lakes aren't exactly the cleanest in this area, and I don't want all of that lake filth getting trapped in these. They will wash. I usually wash my hair once every 2 to 3 days. Whenever I go to wash these, the pet dreads are a lot easier to take care of than the ones that I do on the side. The ones on the side, typically, if I just do 2 to 3 on either side, it's not as bad. St. Patrick's Day, whenever I had like 7 on each side, that was more sorting out. Whenever you're in the shower and your hair's wet, and you kind of have to pull them out and separate the hair so you can wash your hair and scrub real good. These, you don't really need shampoo unless you've just been doing something that gets them dirty. Again, it's a protective wrap, so unless they've gotten something on them, it's not really necessary that you wash them with shampoo. Just regular water is fine. Also, do not put conditioner in these unless you want them to take a very long time to dry out. Blow dryers, typically I don't use a blow dryer if I'm taking a shower really late at night and going to bed. These will take a lot longer to dry, and in that case I would use a hair dryer. But I mean, they're pretty simple to maintain when they're like this. You just grab them. They're all here together. I usually clip them up with one of these plastic hair clips here. And if you can see that. And take my shower, wash my hair like normal, shampoo, conditioner, and then just whatever the shampoo rinses out, mix that in, like massage the scalp, like where the hair at the top of these is still showing, and that's only going to be a little bit of hair. But anyhow, you can wash them and wear them. Like I said, I leave mine in sometimes 3 weeks at a time. Could really do them more than that. I just get bored with the same style and want to change up the color. So here we go. I'm almost to the end of this, and I'm just wrapping it a little bit longer than what my hair actually is, and just to add a little bit of an extension. Okay, so whenever I get to the end, I don't think I showed you before, I'm not going to burn these to end them. I'm just going to tie them off. And so I've got this here, and just going to take that strand, and you can see got my middle section, and just going to tie and pull that through, then come around on the underside and do the same, just pulling it through. Okay, you can see that.
And if I want to make it really secure, I'll do that a few more times. Really, it's not going to go anywhere. I'm just a little OCD like that. And then I'll show you what that looks like. Again, you can kind of see how it makes a little bit of a line going down. It's not a perfectly cylindrical dread. It's more of like a macrame hemp necklace of a dread. And I think that just kind of gives it the character that I want it to have. And if you want to see the back, again, I'm not going to finish these all tonight because it is now nearly 2 in the morning and I need to get some sleep. So I hope you have a wonderful night. And so it is now Friday morning and I have finished wrapping the rest of the braids. Just wanted to let you see what that looks like before I trim the ends off. Alright, so a quick view from behind. Let's see. Can't really tell what I'm doing here. Alright, so I did go ahead and install the last 2 braids. So I have a total of 10 dreads, and I'm going to go ahead and clip these ends and let you see what it looks like once it's all done and together. Just as a side note, I think it would be kind of neat to do these all the same length and have that fuzziness for the length like an extension. Sometime the only thing is they really start to just, as you can see, unravel apart, especially with that softer, fluffier yarn. So that's why I don't do that. Also, if you were to do it for one day, then that would be pretty neat. But when you go to wash them, it's really not gonna wash well. So I always trim them pretty close to the end. As you can see, just about to the top. I like to leave a little room. It gives it that frayed ragdoll look. And just going to snip all of the rest of these ends. Some of them I had gotten last night. Trim that up a bit. And all of those are done. And just coming around to this side, snippity snip snip snippins. Oh, there's a big one. Alright, so I have all 10 yarn dreads, and I am going to let you see what it looks like with my hair down and when I pull it up. If I was going to be really fancy about it and felt like taking the extra time, I could curl my hair with a curling iron, and that would give it a little bit more dimension. You'd have the curls and then you'd have your dreads for your texture, but really they're not that noticeable. Whenever I've got it down, I can wear it to work and all you really see is the ends. So this is pretty nonchalant. If I wanted it to be more noticeable, then what I do, I cut my bangs so that I can actually catch them in my mouth, which that might be weird to some of you, but it works for me. So separate out the short hair from the long hair. I'm not going to get them all because I'm just in a hurry. And do like that. And pull this. Upside down. Okay. And as you can see, kind of makes me feel like it's a anime look in a way. And one thing I love about the yarn dreads is the thickness, the texture that it puts in my hair. If I do my hair in a ponytail and it's just my hair, it feels thin, it looks just kind of, to me, like it's missing something. Whenever I've got the yarn dreads in, you can see the back. This does show a little bit. I could do this up tighter, up higher,
depending on how much of the yarn grid I want to actually show off. So that's with it up, just kind of messy. If I had the time and wanted to make it look nicer, could do it in a nice bun or a nicer ponytail. This is just like a messy look. But anyway, it's something quick whenever I've already got this done, you know, spend 3 hours on a night that I'm not doing anything, watch some videos. It's relaxing to me. You know, if I thought it was a chore, if I thought it was a pain, I wouldn't be doing it. It's just something that's fun for me, and it makes it easier to get ready on the days that I am in a hurry. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that it was informative and that you could see the technique. If you have any questions, please comment down below, and I hope you have an awesome day.